All right, leaders, let's get started with our first lesson. We'll be learning today about setting personal goals. And as we go through this, you'll watch me write and I'll add some keywords, and you're welcome to take notes if that helps you learn. And you'll also practice saying some keywords with me. So let's say personal goals out loud, personal goals. And like I mentioned today, the aspect of personal goals that we're really focusing on is an important skill called self-awareness. Say self-awareness with me, self-awareness. Now, when we think about self-awareness, something that's really important for us to remember as leaders is that self-awareness is like a long journey. So we'll think of it as like a road or a path that we're on, because self-awareness is not something that we have or that we don't have, but instead, self-awareness is a skill that we practice. And it's a skill that we practice with certain key strategies. Say strategies with me, strategies, okay? So that's super important to remember. Again, self-awareness is not something that we're born with or not born with, that we have, that we don't have. It's a skill that we can practice over time to improve on. Self-awareness means knowing our own feelings, our own habits, our own motives. So motives, like what makes us want to do something, and our own desires. Desires meaning what are the things that we want in our lives. Some of the ways that we can practice self-awareness, so some of those strategies, say strategies with me again, strategies that we can use to practice self-awareness include the following. We can read about self-awareness. We can write in a journal. We can also practice mindfulness or meditation, which sometimes looks like kind of this stereotype of someone sitting in a yoga pose, but really mindfulness or meditation just can mean disconnecting from, the internet, disconnecting from distractions, just practicing our breathing, and really paying close attention to how we are feeling and to what's going on in our mind. Another strategy that we can use for self-awareness is talking to others that we trust. So this might be a close friend that is a really good listener, a mentor, a family member, a trusted adult in your life. So when we talk to others about our feelings, our habits, our motives, and or our desires, that is another way that we can practice this strategy of self-awareness. So take a look at those strategies and think about if you've tried them in the past, what you liked, what you didn't like. And after you're done with this video, you'll actually take the opportunity to practice some of these strategies so that we can get a head start on thinking about our goals. When we're practicing these strategies for self-awareness, there are some questions that we may want to be asking ourselves. Some of those questions include, what do I want to change in my life? What do I want to change in my community? What do I want to change in the world? Earlier, you looked at some examples of youth who really made a big difference in their own lives, in their community, or the world. And that's because they were starting with self-awareness and really paying attention to what was important to them. You also might be asking yourself, what do I want to become in the future? And that can be really important if you have a goal of, becoming a teacher, becoming a doctor, becoming an athlete, going to a certain type of college, having a certain type of career. Just slowing down and listening to yourself, writing about that, again, talking to others. That self-awareness that you're practicing can really help you over time be more prepared to achieve those goals. Additionally, you might be asking yourself, how do I want to feel? All right, we'll slide this over here in a minute so you can see that question. But you'd be asking yourself, how do I want to feel? Right? What are some things in my life maybe that are causing me stress, that are causing negative emotions, and how do I want to feel different moving forward? And that could be in the short term or in the long term. Also, you'll notice I'm drawing what's called a wheel of self-awareness. Sometimes it can really help us to think about our life in these 4 quadrants. Say quadrants with me. Quadrants. We can think about our health, our physical and our mental health. We can think about school and our education. We can think about our family and our friends, those super important relationships. And sometimes it can help us when we're journaling or we're meditating to allow our brains, or we're talking with a trusted person, to allow our brains to really reflect on, what is going on with my health? How do I feel about my connections with my family, with school, or with my friends? And as we're practicing this self-awareness, using any of these strategies, one thing that we're doing is we're kind of looking into a mirror. We're looking inward, right? Looking at that reflection of ourselves and saying, am I becoming the person that I want to be? What are some things that are possible for me if I begin to make some small changes in my life? That will be really important when we get to setting our goals. So you can see here's someone doing that reflection, looking in the mirror. They're looking inward and thinking about who they want to become. The other thing that's very important that we do when we're practicing self-awareness is we're also looking outward. Maybe we're looking, metaphorically out a window into the wider world and thinking, how can I make my community better? How can I make the world a better place? What is out there for me? What are these possibilities that I'm so excited to try? So again, big picture, self-awareness. It's a skill that we practice with strategies. It helps us know our own feelings, our habits, our motives, and our desires. And this is the starting place when we think about having personal goals. When we use these strategies to practice self-awareness, we'll become so much better at being able to set meaningful goals, to track our progress on those goals, and to accomplish those goals. So let's get ready to practice. You'll take some time, 5 minutes or more. I'm recommending definitely more, to either read about self-awareness or journal, practice mindfulness or meditation, or to talk with a person that you trust and care about some things that are feeling important in your life right now. You can recreate that wheel of strategies, and whichever you choose, just be committed. Be committed to showing up for yourself for at least 5 minutes, and I can't wait to hear about what you practice for self-awareness.